Hello, travelers. I'm Wheelchair Jimmy. We've been cruising around South America for the last 14 days on the Star Princess cruise ship. From Valparaiso, Chile, down around Cape Horn to Buenos Aires, Argentina. You know, what a great way to see the world and learn the history and rich culture of South America. And Princess Cruises, well, they get some mixed reviews. We were in stateroom B302, a wheelchair-accessible mini-suite. I must say, Princess does an excellent job in designing living quarters that are comfortable, quite spacious, and very wheelchair accessible. And the bathroom was large and included a well-designed pull-down bench seat in the shower and reasonable counter space. Now, the shower drains were not so great as water covers the floor after a shower. And the balcony designs on the Star Princess also not really good for wheelchair users. It has a 3-inch riser and 2 inches across, making the outside balcony access near impossible without assistance. Other Princess ships and other cruise lines have better balcony design that provides much easier wheelchair access. But the overall stateroom's very accessible. And the Princess Cruise does a wonderful job throughout the ship for wheelchair travelers, including accessible restrooms throughout the ship, accessible dining, accessible theaters, and elevators. And the passenger crews were always pleasant, smiling, and attentive. First, internet service is available, but it's sort of the equivalent of the old dial-up service. Logging on and off from the stateroom was sometimes just impossible. And second, the new Princess at Sea app is excellent while you're on the ship. Download it to your PC, Mac, or phone prior to your departure. I found it easy to use and very helpful. Unfortunately, it doesn't work after you've gone ashore, and you can't download the excursion city maps, which are really well done paper handouts. Princess is reasonably proficient at getting wheelchair users on and off the ship at each port. Training could be better, but the crew certainly tries to be helpful. The Star Princess cruise had a couple serious shortcomings. Ship tenders can be extremely frustrating. If a port isn't large enough to permit ship docking, the ship anchors in the bay and the passengers get ashore on tenders, which occurred at 3 different ports on this cruise. Now, every cruise contains disclaimers that the captain can deny wheelchair access to the boat tenders if the weather is bad or the waters are choppy. Our cruise had good weather and calm waters, but this particular Star Princess cruise seemed to have adopted a new tender policy. If you can't walk, you can't get on the tender. 3 different level of officers said these exact same words, wanting to keep me on board so I couldn't have the fun. It was very frustrating. I complained to the head of onboard passenger services in the Princess headquarters after the cruise. They listened, but were non-committal. It seems to me Princess should either welcome wheelchair travelers and make sure wheelchair users get on those ship tenders, or tell us to stay home. It was very aggravating. I didn't sign up for aggravating. I came here to have fun. So my advice, be assertive, demand to board the ship tenders. By the way, I've never been denied yet. But my biggest complaint relates to excursions, when you actually get off the boat to explore the world. Princess takes absolutely no responsibility when it comes to wheelchair accessibility at the individual ports for these excursions. Princess sees to it that local tour companies transport able-bodied passengers, but the wheelchair accessible transport and tours are not arranged or guaranteed, even when Princess notes the excursion is accessible. The Princess 800 phone line before the cruise and the onboard excursion desk provide absolutely no help, none whatsoever. And this is a recurring Princess shortcoming. So wheelchair travelers must plan their own day trips and arrange their own private transportation at each and every port. When it was time to depart the cruise ship in Buenos Aires, there were multiple shuttle buses, and almost all were clearly marked with the International Wheelchair logo. But the ramps don't work on any bus. So terminal workers and helpful passengers picked up the wheelchair with me in it and lifted me into and out of the shuttle bus. This happened 4 times. Again, I think Princess needs to do a better job here and take some responsibility for accessible transport. So a couple other quick side notes when you arrive at the Buenos Aires cruise terminal. Number one, whether you're going to the airport or a hotel, you'll find dozens of small 4- and 5-person taxis. There are no accessible taxis or buses. Number two, the taxi rates are very negotiable. Overall, we just had a wonderful trip throughout South America. One of our best trips ever. The history, the diverse culture are fascinating, and we made some wonderful new friends. And the Star Princess, well, the onboard amenities, the interior, the staterooms, the bathrooms are all very comfortable and wheelchair friendly. However, on the WJAR index, we're going to downgrade Princess from a 4 to a 3. They need to improve how they handle wheelchair accessibility on excursions. And they need to determine a more favorable policy for wheelchair users on Tendercraft. Heck, if you can't get out and see the destination, what's the purpose of the cruise? Next time, we're going to explore different cruise options. But South America, we just had a great time. It is beautiful. You will love it. Roll on, travelers!